with Black Ops 6. Let's start here. Call of Duty back at it again. They're taking it to the early 90s. They're taking it to, you know what I'm saying, they're getting hot, continuing the Black Ops story, going a little bit rogue with the campaign. Had a whole breakdown on you know, some of the different movement systems, the customizability, a lot of details on multiplayer, zombies, the campaign, of course. We had some a trailer up front at the start of the show, and we had a whole direct afterwards. So I just kind of combined those there so we don't have to revisit anything in this rundown of the showcase. Give me your initial thoughts on what you saw from Black Ops 6, the info, the campaign, the presentation. How'd you feel?
I'm happy it's free. That was like that's my favorite announcement about the whole thing. I thought it looked pretty cool. That movement is going to be interesting. Being able to dive and shoot from any direction just makes sense. Shooting and sliding from any direction makes sense. Honestly, shout outs to them for changing those core mechanics. I think the movement in the game is gonna be really fun while also still being like boots on the ground. I'm kind of happy about the era that it's going in, and it also seems like a Call of Duty renaissance in a sense. So like, hey, we're kind of like giving a lot of people, because I know there's a lot of people who stopped playing Call of Duty for a long time, myself included, who are now seeing a free price tag on it and being like, you know what, I'm gonna tap into multiplayer, I'm gonna tap into XYZ. The biggest barrier for entry is going to be that 300 gigabyte space that needs to be taken up for that game. It's ridiculous.
And I can actually at least give them some slack, because that 300 gigabytes, it might represent something else. I'm pretty sure it will represent the entire Call of Duty app if they were like download all this shit. I think what I saw online was that's the representation of what the Call of Duty app is now if you have all those parts of the game installed, like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, the Warzone shit, all of that together is 300 gigs. So you know what I'm saying? And you, at least from like the BattleNet stuff, you can download like the parts of the Call of Duty HQ or whatever, part and parcel. So you can just download, you know, the zombies portion, or download like, you know, the multiplayer portion, and not dabble with Warzone. Like I think that shit is just bundled. Given it's still too damn big. It's still too damn big. You still need to compress stuff. Everybody in the West needs to learn how to compress they damn games better, bro. Jeez, give me a break. But I will cut them slack. I don't think it's gonna be 300 gigs outright in from what I saw. So I'll give him a mulligan on that one. I think it was just misreading from what the current spacing is on the Call of Duty app to what it might be when Black Ops 6 drops.
Thank you for clearing that up, actually, because that does make me feel a lot better. But yeah, no, I think the game is actually in a pretty solid state, and I think that barrier of entry just being free, like I know I'm the first one to complain about a Call of Duty game. I really can't, because at the end of the day, I'm paying what, $15 a month, and it's not like just for Call of Duty. I'm paying a monthly subscription for Game Pass, and I'm getting a bunch of other games for free as well. Like, we're not for free. I keep saying for free, but you're paying for it. But the value is just there now. So like, I can't be too upset about this game. I'm not very excited about the story. I don't really care too much, and it's mostly because I didn't play the other ones. Now, if you would have made an announcement like, hey, we're gonna be giving you Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, even if it was just a campaign so that people could like catch up, like, I think it would be sick. I don't think they're on Game Pass as of this recording. I could be wrong, but I don't think they are yet. Yeah, so like, it does suck that they were like kind of showing the campaign when like I can't really engage. Like, I see people are like, whoa, blah blah blah's back, and I'm like, cool, it's that guy, I guess. Yeah. But I think the era that they're going for is interesting. I'm happy that it's boots on the ground, and I'm excited to see how many people tap into Call of Duty and how it performs now that it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. Again, as a, you know what I'm saying, reformed Call of Duty sweat.
You're not reformed.
Shut the fuck up. All right. Hey, let me tell my truth. Let me tell my truth.
You're telling something. It's not the truth.
But as a honestly, in my heart, as a fan of Call of Duty, as a fan of the franchise, I've said this before. We've said this on previous cases. You can go check out our old video talking about, you know, how Black Ops 6 can turn the corner for the franchise. If there's anybody that you trust to add freshness to the Call of Duty, you know, cycle, the Call of Duty franchise, the IP, it's Treyarch. They always bring something that I think is a good delivery on innovation. Not to say the other ones don't, but I think the most smoothest leaps in terms of introducing a new meta, introducing new gameplay mechanics, they've always come the smoothest with Black Ops, with the Treyarch game, with that subset of the brand. And I think that they're going to do it again with this one. Again, I don't want to speak on the campaign too much, because again, some people might know it, some people don't. I think it's the campaigns, Black Ops specifically, their campaigns are always fantastic. I enjoy their campaigns. Really, you know, thought-provoking, a lot of twists and turns, very, very, very cinematic. I love their storylines that they develop. I love the narratives that they build. You can think of Black Ops 3. Love the continuation of the story with, like, you know, with Woods in this one, and you know, kind of the events of what's it called, the 1986 missions after Cold War. I'm loving that narrative. I enjoy it. I'm super curious to see how it kind of folds into, you know, the history of, you know, the early 90s Gulf Wars and stuff like that. That's gonna be really interesting to see. I have no worries about the campaign, in my opinion. I think Black Ops and Treyarch, they always smash it, or at least do a really decent job to kind of frame the campaign in a really provoking, really thought-provoking, really evocative, and really like super engaging way. So I have no qualms about campaign. Moving on to kind of like just the general gameplay stuff and some of the things that we got. First and foremost, again, the movement system. I absolutely support this. The children yearn for Max Payne 3, and I love this, bro. The omnidirectional movement, again, yes, it's kind of a straight rip from what's it called, Max Payne. Fair. I don't get, listen, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Do what the greats do. You know what I mean? I think that this provides so much more options and variety, and just the smoothness that you can move with around a map. Again, when I play Call of Duty, I don't think I do it just to be a corner camper, bruh. Some of y'all may do it out there, and shame on y'all, but that's not me. I'm not the one to do that. I want to be, you know, like picking my spots, running and gunning. I want to do, you know, bits and pieces of it all, and have the mobility and flexibility to do those things. And this movement system looks really, really cool. Like the little, you know what I'm saying, when you're prone on the floor, you can actually turn your body a little bit. You can turn it midair. I saw that little dive through the train with the guy with the AK-74U on. He did a dive through the train, turned on his back as he hit the floor, and shot the guy above him who was on the train opening. Like cool, like, you know, little things like that are possible. And, you know, they add to the swimming, they add to all these different things. It looks stellar. I really like that this movement system has been updated, and I think it's going to bring a lot of different variety to not only you know, just a base multiplayer game, but how Warzone functions as well. And I think people might actually really enjoy that. They might like that. So movement system is fine. Love what I'm seeing from that. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they said it's going to be 16 new maps, not any old maps, not a whole slate of Modern Warfare 2 maps that you just ported over to you know, to fill the gap. There's going to be new maps, 12 core 6v6 maps, and then 4 strike maps that can be played 2v2. So I heard that. That's fantastic. Give us that. I'm at this point, I can already assume Nuketown's going to pop up, so that is what it is. So leave that be. But I just need new. That's lovely. I'm also, what's it called, when the customizable options, like the HUD, yeah,
that's dope.
I think some of those things have been sorely needed. Like they're just bringing back a lot of quality. They're bringing back a lot of quality of life things, and just simple like additions that we, you know, that Call of Duty fans, that people who want to get into these games, they would very, very much enjoy. Again, theater mode. Again, the customizable HUD you want to talk about. I know how my eyes wander, and being kind of forced into, you know, that orientation of trying to fit all these fixed spots in the HUD. You could run hardcore and main modes and not feel phased. Like, that's dope. That's dope that you can do that. I know me, I'd want to change where my clip positioning is, or to show my ammo capacity. I want to change the map. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have the map in the same spot that typically is. I know I'm kind of, you know, I'd want it to be quirky like that, because that's my mind works slightly differently. Excuse me. But yeah, I love that they give you that option to switch around and mix and match where you want your HUD and what you want on your HUD. I love that. What's it called? The class overhaul, just keeping it pretty simple. Enjoy that. What's it called? The prestige system, bring it back to classic day one. That's crazy to think how, you know, in the recent Call of Duties, prestige mode in some cases wasn't even, like, you know, available, which is wild. You know, yeah. It's kind of like based on seasonality too, which is, to me, again, since I'm an old head in Call of Duty by those years, I found it off to me. So bringing it back to a classic prestige and then bringing a master prestige level with 1,000 levels, basic, lovely, perfect. Don't need to change too much about it. You reset your rank every time you prestige. Give something, you know, give something that people want to work towards. Lovely. It's beautiful, man. I can't wait to see what the multiplayer looks like. I have really strong hopes for this based on how they're changing the core mechanics of the gameplay, especially with the movement system, all these quality of life things. Zombies going back to round based, one easier map, one harder map, 2 at launch. That's solid. We haven't heard anything about Warzone yet. I don't care too much about Warzone because that's just how I am. I'd rather just a straight up base multiplayer just to get me through. But speaking generally, again, I will stand on this even further after this reveal. I think that Black Ops 6 is definitely the Call of Duty that can turn the franchise around in terms of public perception. Of course, it's still selling. Of course, it's still that. It's going to be a long fall off if they kept, you know, losing their standing. But this is something that I think can really turn the corner, in my opinion. But I say, I really believe that they can turn the corner with this one, and especially that they're day one on Game Pass. Again, the biggest gamble, the biggest shot that Xbox can pull. How do we gain an advantage? They wiped out every possible exclusivity advantage at all. You know, Phil Spencer said it himself. He said, listen, we're going day one, same drop, same content everywhere. But the only advantage you have if you choose any preference of a place, preference of a location to play these games, Game Pass, you don't have to pay that $70 up front. That's the only advantage. That's the only exclusive deal. That's the only, you know, again, leg up that you might have over anybody else. And that could be something that pays hella dividends, bro. This is the major card. Again, we said it last week as well. This is the major card that they have to pull, and I'm curious to see if it works. I don't know if it will. I don't know if it won't, but I know for sure people are going to be very interested, and it's going to be embedded in the whole process. You know, people who got PC Game Pass, they have access to the full thing, the beta and all that stuff like that. I think Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is the only version of the console Game Pass that gets everything. If you have basic Game Pass, I think you only get the campaign, which is interesting as well. They want you to get into these higher tiers immediately, and they're trying to recoup that money, bruh. They're trying to recoup that money like a mug, and it's their only play. It's their major play to try and get sales back and trying to get money back from all the money they invested. So from a business sense, I understand that. So we're gonna see, but a lot is definitely riding on this Call of Duty. But from what I've seen so far, especially in this Xbox showcase, I think they're putting out a really solid, strong first foot to getting people's attention and getting people's engagement back to, you know, the points that we saw in years past. Yeah, man. So yeah, shout out Black Ops, man. Shout out Black Ops. Shout out to the black dude in Black Ops, man. We see you, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. Excited to play it.